Hey there, and welcome back to Utility Sports. And as we're inching closer to the NBA draft in 2020, we're going to go over some of our favorite players. And before we start, we would like to encourage you to like and subscribe to our channel, as your continued support is really important for our growth. And so, for our very first player, Sheldon, who is your third favorite player in the class?
Yeah, my third favorite player is Devin Vassell. He's a combo wing, combo forward out of Florida State. He's going to have the versatility to play between the 2 through 4 in the NBA level. And just a quick reminder here, favorite doesn't necessarily mean that these guys are going to be the best players in the class. These are more guys that we're personally excited to watch kind of transition to the NBA. But I am very high on Vassell as well. I do actually have him third on my big board as well at this point because he's got everything you kind of need as that forward position in the NBA. He's a little capable of handling the rock, needs to improve as a playmaker yet at this point, but he's capable creating off the balance for himself, going both left and right. He's really lengthy, as you can see here, with a 6'10" wingspan. And defensively, the guy's got a lot of potential. Florida State's kind of becoming that school that's developing a lot of NBA ready defenders. You saw the same thing with Jonathan Isaac. Patrick Williams and Vassell are two cases here in this draft. And I think Vassell's got really good two-way forward potential. I think he could kind of grow into possibly a DeMar DeRozan type, possibly a little bit of Paul George in him. So I'm just really excited to watch this guy get into the NBA. And that'll bring us into Austin's third favorite player here. Take it away.
Yeah, this is kind of a similar build in terms of frame and everything. Jaden McDaniels is 6'10", and he's got a 7-foot wingspan. What really excites me about him is his scoring potential. He's a wing that can handle the rock, and that's a pretty rare combination. And he's going to be kind of slotted just outside the lottery or just within the lottery. So sometimes you see big time wings like Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. They're selected in that areas. They have glaring weaknesses, and Jaden McDaniels is a guy that could definitely develop into a two-way player. He definitely has the defensive upside. We've seen him flash on tape, his ability to block shots and defend on the perimeter. He averaged 13 points per game, and I believe if he would have played a little bit more, he could have definitely averaged more, and if he would have been given the keys to the offense, that would have helped him in his case. He has some issues with his coach at Washington, so that made it a little bit tougher on him to really assert himself as the star player there. I heard he has some attitude issues. We'll see if he can kind of work through that. And honestly, this is a guy from a physical standpoint you are drooling over. And for the next one, Sheldon, who's your second favorite?
Yeah, I'm going into a Division II prospect here, Jay Scrubb out of John A. Logan. He's a two guard, possibly could play the three at the NBA level due to his frame. He's a 6'6" wing, 215-pound, 6'9" wingspan. Here you see him in a Photoshop Louisville jersey because there were rumors he would commit to them after his second season at John A. Logan. It's an interesting story why he ended up going Division II. He was academically ineligible to receive a scholarship from a Division I program after failing his freshman year of high school. So he took his talents to the Division II level, and you can see here from his statistics, he was rather dominant. Averaged over about 22 points a game, was grabbing about 7 rebounds, and kind of was the heart blood of that John A. Logan offense. And this guy, a lot of the reason I like him is he's got really athletic potential. 40-inch vertical. He's a left-handed player, something I have a little bit of a preference toward for NBA wings, as I'm a James Harden fan. And I think Scrubb's got a lot of the things you need to really kind of translate as a quality wing. And he's going to go in the second round of this year's draft. And I think he's one of the favorite sleepers of mine and of many, I think, in a lot of ways too. When you see this guy, if you haven't already, I definitely recommend watching him after our video here. He's got a lot of upside on the offensive end, and I think he can also function as a disruptor on the defensive end. I think he's got some two-way potential to him. Something I definitely like is players who get involved on both ends of the floor, and Scrubb's a guy that can do that in the next level, in my opinion. Before we move on to Austin's here, we're right at the midway point of our top 6 favorite players together. Let us know down in the comments below who your guys' favorite players are in the class. We'd definitely love to hear from you. So leave them in the comments below and tell us who your favorite team is too and who you hope your team drafts. All right, Austin, moving into your second favorite player in the class.
That's what we have Alexei Pokusevsky here. He played in Greece and in the EuroLeague in particular. We didn't really have a ton of statistics to back this up, but for us on tape, me in particular, I really like that he has a lot of the vision that you would look for in a passing big man. He's definitely kind of got Jokic vibes to him. I believe he can score at the next level as well. He's a crafty big man, and the problem with him is a lot of his game's going to be predicated on offense. On the defensive end, there's a lot to be desired yet. He doesn't block shots like you would like to see at a high level, and he's obviously not strong. If you take a look at him and the photos that you see of him, he's a stick, kind of like Kristaps Porzingis was coming out. But there's a lot to work with here, and if you're a team that ultimately feels that you can develop players, you're going to want to take a guy like Pokusevski. He's a toolsy player. He's got the length, he's got the height, and ultimately he has the skill set eventually to become a top player in the NBA. Hopefully he lands with the right team, because this guy could be extremely dangerous with the right coaching staff. And for our next player here, Sheldon, you're number one.
Yeah, Obi Toppin, not only my number one in this class, but one of my highest rated prospects in terms of my favorites out of all the classes, pretty much since I've started keeping up with the NBA draft. Obi Toppin went to Dayton University, was really, really successful there. Dayton University is my favorite college basketball program. And you see he's a 6'9" forward. He's probably going to play more of the 4, maybe even small ball 5 at some point. He's 220 pounds, really built, ready for the NBA, and he's got a 7'2" wingspan. And a lot of his potential is really built on offense. He's going to be a guy who can stretch it out to the three-point line, has the makings of what could be a really dangerous face-up game with his speed and explosive athleticism. And you see here where he's doing an in-between-the-leg dunks during a game, and that's kind of what you're looking for. He's going to be an electric player, and he's one of the most fun players to watch in a long time, honestly. He compares well to Zion Williamson in terms of athleticism. He's got a little bit bigger of a frame than Zion in terms of, vertical size and wingspan. Obviously not quite the weight of Zion, but he's also been really healthy so far through his career. And he's a guy who's really a late bloomer and has kind of started to come into his own in the last couple of years here for Dayton. And I think he's going to be a guy with a really high ceiling moving forward, especially on the offensive end. Struggles a little bit with changing direction defensively. That's kind of why he projects more as a 4 or 5, despite having possibly kind of a 3-4 frame. But at that point, you're still looking at a guy who's going to be able to impact the game in the pick and roll as a screener and off the ball as a cutter. And this guy can really run the floor in transition. All right. And moving into our last prospect here for Austin, we got Deni Avdija. Walk us through him here.
Yeah. Avdija is a guy that a lot of people should be really excited about. From a consensus standpoint on a big board, a lot of people have him 6, but both of us have him at number 1. Why is that? He is one of the best playmakers in the class. He's probably number 2 behind LaMelo Ball. He's very crafty around the rim. He has Euro step. He's got floaters, runners. He has a lot in his bag, and I've been trying to preach this to a lot of people that he definitely kind of has a similar skill set to Luka Doncic in terms of the playmaking and the craftiness around the rim. Obviously, he's not going to wow you athletically, but he is severely underrated as an athlete. If you flip on the film, his athleticism is severely underrated. And honestly, he's a guy that you can really see taking the keys to an offense. He's going to be your point guard. He's going to be able to do a lot of different things. And, he's that 6'9" point guard that, teams would really, really love to have. Not exactly sure 6'9" is what his official listed height is, but that's what we were able to find. He's a guy that the shot looks like it'll start to develop. Obviously, you see from the 3-point percentage, it's a little down, but we believe he will be able to kind of turn that around, and he'll definitely be a better 3-point shooter in the NBA than he was in Israel.
Yeah, definitely. And at this point, this is our last prospect here for you guys. Later this week, right before the NBA draft, we will be dropping our final NBA mock. So make sure to stay tuned and hit that subscribe button, and also click the bell to stay notified and up to date with utility sports content. We really love pouring out content for you guys. We've been posting every day, and we're planning on continuing to do so. So we're hoping you stick around, and we really appreciate the community we're building here.